Hello and welcome to the U.S. Immigration News. For years, millions of immigrants, it have been a same question every day. Will the United States ever truly fix its immigration system? The families have waited for green cards that never seem to come, workers have faced endless renewals, and those hoping to become U.S. citizens have often found the last stretch to be the hardest. Now, as we move into November 2025, that question is back in the center of Washington's attention. Congress is preparing a new immigration reform bill, one that could reshape how United States handles green cards, citizenship applications, and even the H-1B visa program that fuels much of the nation's tech and innovation workforce. In this video, we'll explore what this November 2025 new bill could mean for immigrants waiting for green card, professionals on work visas, and long-time residents still chasing the dream of citizenship, and how these proposals under the Trump administration could redefine the entire legal immigration landscape moving forward. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now let's get into the video. In Washington, the word reform is being used a lot lately. But behind that word are real people, you, your spouse, your children, all living between petitions, biometrics, and approvals that take months or years. For you, reform isn't a political slogan. It's the difference between uncertainty and stability, between temporary status and permanent life. And that's what makes this new congressional push so important. As of late October 2025, bipartisan talks in both the House and Senate have converged around a sweeping new immigration reform bill. Lawmakers are combining long-discussed measures, backlog reduction, citizenship modernization, and tighter oversight of visa programs, into one major proposal expected to be introduced formally in mid-November. Early drafts reviewed by several major outlets point to a package that touches nearly every corner of the legal immigration system. The most talked about section focuses on green card modernization. After years of record backlogs, especially for India, China, Mexico, and the Philippines, this bill is expected to propose faster pathways for applicants who've been stuck in the queue for over a decade. Congressional aides describe discussions about optional fast-track fees, a controversial measure allowing some to pay extra for expedited adjudication, though final language is still being negotiated. The idea is simple but divisive: generate revenue while easing the weight of years-long waits. For family-based immigrants, lawmakers are considering provisions that could make reunification faster by adjusting per-country limits. It's a proposal similar to those seen in earlier drafts of the Fairness for High-Skilled Immigrants Act and the Dignity Act. But this time, the Trump administration's influence is visible. Instead of purely expanding quotas, the administration wants to tie eligibility to stricter vetting and employment verification, meaning more background checks, more document reviews, and possibly longer processing times even for those who qualify. Now let's talk about what's being said around citizenship reform. Sources from Capitol Hill and USCIS policy teams indicate that the administration wants to raise the bar on naturalization, adding deeper, good moral character assessments and potentially new questions or testing standards. In previous months, USCIS Director Joseph Edlow hinted that the agency is exploring a stronger civic literacy standard, possibly including written components in the citizenship exam. If that becomes part of the reform, future applicants may need to demonstrate not only language fluency, but also an essay-based understanding of civic principles. At the same time, the bill could include provisions meant to speed up processing for long-time permanent residents who have maintained continuous residence and tax compliance. That means people who've lived and contributed legally for years might finally see their path to citizenship simplified, but balanced by tougher moral character scrutiny and ideological vetting. For employment-based immigrants, the spotlight is once again on the H-1B visa program. Senators Dick Durbin and Chuck Grassley have already reintroduced the H-1B and L-1 Visa Reform Act, aiming to strengthen wage requirements and prevent outsourcing misuse. The November 2025 reform proposal is expected to build on that foundation. Trump administration officials are signaling their intent to link H-1B renewals to stricter employer accountability, wage compliance, and possibly even shortened validity periods, reducing the traditional 6-year limit to 3 unless clear steps toward permanent residency are underway. All these developments paint a clear picture. The administration wants to tighten control, increase scrutiny, and centralize decision-making inside USCIS, while Congress attempts to modernize outdated quotas and relieve the pressure of decades-old backlogs. In practical terms, this creates a mixed reality. For some, the door could open wider. For others, it might narrow further. Imagine this from a family's point of view. You've waited 8, maybe 10 years for your I-130 petition to move forward. You've celebrated every small step: approval, case creation at the NVC, document qualification, all while holding your breath for that visa bulletin to finally turn current. A reform bill that promises backlog reduction feels like a blessing. But when you learn that the same bill might impose new background vetting and longer pre-interview reviews, that relief quickly turns into anxiety. That's the human side of every immigration reform headline. For H-1B professionals, the story feels equally tense. Some will welcome tougher enforcement on outsourcing abuses, but others worry that higher wage requirements and shorter durations could push smaller employers out of the sponsorship system altogether. And for students on F-1 visas hoping to transition into H-1B or green card status, the new rules may mean earlier planning, heavier documentation, and fewer second chances if something goes wrong. This is the moment when every lawful immigrant realizes that change, even good change, can be risky. You've played by the rules, paid the fees, followed every instruction, but one bill, one vote in Congress, can shift the entire foundation of your immigration journey. That's why it's so critical to understand what's coming, to prepare early, and to make sure your own filings are accurate and up to date before the law evolves around you. If you are currently in line for a green card, the best thing you can do right now is monitor your visa category's movement closely. The November Visa Bulletin shows only modest advancement, and it's unclear whether reform will accelerate that or reset priority dates under a new system. If you're pursuing citizenship, make sure your record is spotless, from tax returns to travel history. Any gaps could carry more weight under the expanded moral character reviews being considered. And if you're on H-1B status, maintain full compliance with every USCIS requirement, because the coming changes could allow officers greater discretion in denying or delaying renewals. Reform always sounds like progress. But in the world of immigration, progress often comes wrapped in complexity. For many watching this, the real challenge will be timing. Whether to file now under current rules or wait to see if reform creates a faster path. Unfortunately, there's no universal answer. Every case is different. What's constant is the need for awareness, readiness, and adaptability. So, as Congress debates and drafts through November 2025, remember, this isn't just politics playing out on Capitol Hill. It's a story that touches every waiting family abroad, every employee on temporary status, every student hoping to stay, and every permanent resident dreaming of citizenship. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas, such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H-1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration News channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.